Om Swastiastu to all of my friends and our lecturer, Miss Rizka. So we are from the second group. We're gonna do presentation about the second material. It's about type meaning of leech, and we made these materials from the article that has a title "Types of Semantic Meaning" in the book King Arthur. That there are writers. Pardianti as a first writer, Emilia Sukmadara as a second writer, Rian Anugrah Harahap as a third writer, and Tiara Ramadhani as a fourth writer. And the years of article is 2022. So next, move to the next slide. Before I start, let me introduce our group member. So the first one is Nimade Seviarik Mardilayani, and the second one is me, Wayan Wina Juniantari. So let's move to the first discussion about what is actually the definition of meaning according to Geoffrey Leach. The definition of meaning is a weak point in the language studies. So it's a weak point in the language studies mean that the definition of the term meaning with scientific advance will be very helpful in defining the term's meaning. This meaning is a weak point in language studies because the more scientific advance with the advancement of human understanding, the definition of the word meaning will become more contextual. And the next slide is about the classification of 7 types meaning according to Leach 1981. The classification of 7 types meaning according of Leach is better because of this group in our overview or summary in this overall meaning. 7 type meaning there are conceptual meaning, connotative meaning, correlative meaning, and then also affect meaning, social meaning, reflect meaning, and thematic meaning. So I will start one by one. Let's start it with the first meaning is conceptual meaning. So as you can see in the screen, conceptual meaning is extremely intricate and sophisticated. So connotative meaning is the terms for conceptual meaning. The ordering of conceptual meaning is extremely intricate and sophisticated. The two structural principles in particular are constructive and constituent structure. So the second one is connotative meaning. Connotative meaning is the expressive value of a phrase that extend beyond its merely conceptual substance. Additional properties, whether physical, psychological, or social, are mentioned in the connotative sense. The connotative meaning of the state word can be any of the reference characteristics. So the next is collocative meaning. It's a meaning that is obtained by a word and it's caused by the meaning of word that tend to emerge in their environment. And collocative meaning is made up of association formed by a word as a result of the meaning of words that frequently appear in its surrounding. The fourth one is affect meaning. Okay, affect meaning is the conceptual or connotative content of the word used infrequently explicitly realized. So, this affect meaning convey the speaker's own feelings, such as his attitude toward the listener or something he is discussing. Okay, the fifth one is social meaning. Social meaning is what it expresses about its user social milieu. So this meaning reveals something about the speaker's and listener's social interaction, such as everyday language, family, language, and so on, which reveals a specific relationship between the two of them or both of them. So the sixth one is reflect meaning. Reflect meaning appears in the case of multiple conceptual meaning or meaning that appear in a word due to the existence of multiple concepts in the word. And the last one or the seventh one is thematic meaning. Thematic meaning is the meaning transmit by the order in which the speaker or writer arranges the message in terms of emphasis and focus. Okay, that's all about explanation, the 7 type of meaning according to Leach, and let's move to the next slide. Okay, so to make you better understand about my explanation before about the type of the meaning, I will show you the example. So let's start with the first example is conceptual meaning. So as you can see in the screen, there are the table that is the example sentence and what is actually the meaning in the conceptual meaning. So listen, my son Arthur, your father was King Arthur and your mother was Queen Igraine. They are wise leaders, and be like those who are always wise and have kindness, because you will be the next king. And the meaning of that sentence is the word father in the first above has the meaning a man, has children, has a female father. The word mother in the first about has the meaning woman, have children, have a male partner, and the conceptual meaning of this verse is Sir Ector's advice to Arthur to be a wise and a good king. And for be more like easier to you to understand, I also provide the example in our daily life, like, Mom, just saw that playing ball with your sister. Don't you want to come? So in this sentence, have a conceptual meaning. If mother is a married person and gave birth to a children and a woman, then it was explained that a woman talked to her children, her child, by mentioning the person's woman and child of the woman who spoke that she had played football with the husband or the man that married by the woman, and then inviting his son who doesn't join the ball to participate. Okay, let's move to the next slide. This example of connotative meaning. So the sentence is, you were born with magic. So the meaning or the connotative meaning is the word magic has the meaning the power that is influenced by using magical or supernatural powers. The connotative of the word magic is power and luck. And the example in our daily life is your eyes like sunlight. So the meaning in the conceptual meaning is has the meaning of shining. The sunlight has a meaning like shining, glowing, and beautiful. People who say so fascinate to see their beautiful eyes like sunlight, and connotative the word sunlight is luminous and shining. And the third example is collocative meaning. The sentence, there are, as you can see in the screen, there are many sentences that explain, like Arthur was hungry and thirsty. He was also tired. He looked at the dark sky. Thank you, he said. The queen was kind to Arthur. She took his horse and gave him food and water. She took Arthur to the dining room of her castle and gave him bread, meat, and wine. And the meaning in collocative is meaning related to collocative. Example, like Arthur was hungry and thirsty when the queen gave him food and water, and brought Arthur to the dining room of her castle and gave him bread, meat, and wine. So the meaning that arises from this story is that there are several words used in the same environment. And the example of in daily life is, oh my God, it's so cool. So that's collocative meaning is someone who conveys the sentence which is characterized by his body that is chilling or pale, while hugging himself and looking for warmth means that someone is cold. The word cool can also mean cool, but the situation with the physical characteristic is chilling has the meaning is of cold. And you need something that can warm you, like a thick jacket or a warm blanket. Okay. And the fourth example is sentence. There are 3 sentences, as you can see in the screen. I would like to show you my castle and the beautiful things in it. She said, I'm the richest person in the world, and look, everything here is mine. So the meaning The effect meaning is the first one. The quote describes King Arthur revel in a huge woodland. The second one is this statement demonstrates how widely Queen Amor is. And the third one is about the praise, and the richest person is the word may elicit an emotional response in the readers giving. So example in the daily life is like I'm the winner. I managed to get first place in the class. So the meaning is like it can affect the listener, can be influenced, and can imagine how smart person is, so that he can a champion. So we will image that how is smart him, because he can always get first place in the class. Okay, maybe that's all that I can explain. For the next explanation, we'll be continue with my friend Seviarik Madila. So I will give her the time. Thank you.
Right, thank you for the time that has been given to me. I will continue the material about the example of social meaning. As you see at the screen, this is the example sentence take from King Arthur book. Okay, the first sentence, your father was King Arthur and your mother was Queen Igraine. The meaning, the first and the second sentence of the above could indicate the social case in this story. Arthur will become a king in this story. The writing of the sentence in the code is firm and contains astral meaning the author mentioned. Okay, you can see back a sentence. You were born with magic in your life. And then the third sentence, I took you to Avalon is a legendary island featured in Arthurian legend. It can be seen from the social meaning of this quote that this story is just a fairy tale or fantasy with formal writing and characteristic like an ancient story. Okay, for better you understand, I give you example in daily life. We often wave to our neighbors when we see them outside. Okay, the meaning from that sentence conveys the idea of a friendly and neighborly interaction. It reflects the social norm or expectation of acknowledge and greeting neighbors in a friendly manner when encountering them in a shared outdoor space. Waving in this context serves as a non-verbal gesture of recognition, friend lines, and community, contributing to a positive and neighborly social atmosphere. Okay, the next slide. Okay, the next slide, example of reflected meaning. This is the first, the example take from book King Arthur. The sentence, this is the castle of Sir Damas. He is a very evil knight. He called us and put us here. So the meaning from that sentence in this story actually has been mentioned a lot about knight. Brave knight, evil knight. This meaning is generated by the greeter or speaker so that there is an effect in the form or reflection on other meanings. This story is about a fairy tale of a king and also tells about his kingdom. In the kingdom, knight cannot be equated with warrior and fighter. A knight is someone who is given an honorary title by a king, bishop, or other political leader for service to this king, Christian crown, especially in a military capacity. A warrior is a person who specializes in combat or warfare, especially in context of a tribal or clan-based chivalric culture society. So the writer chose the term knight in this story because the concept is related to kingdom. So this is the example in daily life that make you easy to understand about the reflected meaning. I will be there in 5 minutes. Okay, this sentence can convey a sense of urgency and responsibility, while the denotative meaning is a straightforward statement about the estimate arrival time. The reflected meaning often implies the speaker's intention to prioritize punctually and to fulfill a commitment promptly. In many cases, saying I will be there in 5 minutes reflects a sense of reliability, respect for others' time, and a desire to keep one's word, creating an expectation of promptness in their action. Okay, that's about the example of reflective meaning. I will continue to example of thematic meaning. Okay, as you see at the screen, the first we gonna discuss about the example from Arthur book. They went back to the place outside the curtains and Sir Ector put the swan in the stone again. And then the second sentence, now pull it out, he said to Arthur. It came out as easily as a knife out of butter. Sir Ector saw this and took Arthur's hand. And then the third sentence, you are my king, he said. Okay, the meaning of the word that appears in the quote is caused by the emphasis or focus of the conversation in a sentence or statement. You are my king. This sentence becomes the focus of emphasis on this story and is placed at the beginning or in the introduction. The formulation of the word you are my king when stored in the stone where Excalibur can only be pulled from the rock by the person who has the right to be king, namely Arthur. And when he could draw the sword, Sir Ector said, you are my king. For the example in daily life that's make you easy to understand, I give you the sentence. Later you will go straight. After that, after you find the intersection, you just turn left straight until you find a white wall. So from the sentence, you will start to remember and understand it, how you have to be straight and can find the intersection and then turn again until you find what you are going to. Usually this meaning is used as a direction, explaining something or making a text procedure. So that's about the example of thematic meaning. So I will continue about the example of conceptual meaning in term Hindu. As you see at the screen, this is Atman and Brahman. In term Hindu, we got two in conceptual meaning. So the first is Atman. So Atman, the concept of Atman teach that the individual soul is internal and unchanging, distinct from the temporary physical body. And then the Brahman, that's like a God. We believe God always with us like that. Brahman concept in Hinduism that's we believe God always stay with us like that. So I think that's the explanation about the example and also example in term Hindu of conceptual meaning. I think we'll give the time back with my partners. So Wina, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sefi. So I will read the conclusion first before I close the presentation. So the conclusion is the type of meaning examined are conceptual meaning, connotative meaning, collocative meaning, emotive meaning, social meaning, reflect meaning, and thematic meaning. Okay, thank you for all of my friends and my lecturers. So we will close the presentation. Thank you for the time that given to us, and we do apologize if there is any mistake that we do. And we will close our presentation by Paramasanti. Om Santi Santi Santi.